And welcome to the tutorial for the Oregon Wine Board's wine marketing sales distribution calculator. As with all the workbooks, make sure to put in your name, the winery name and the date, and then bookmark or save the URL so that you can return to this workbook. This one's especially important because you're going to be saving a lot of information about different wines, and you can come back to it, you can revise it, and keep it up to date over time. Basically, what we're going to help tell you is how much total revenue you're generating with a portfolio of products, the gross margin, and then you're also going to be able to develop your marketing and sales budgets and payrolls. We'll then break things down for you into tasting room volume, wine club volume, direct account volume, distribution, export, all the different sales channels. The first page, don't be scared. It looks a little intimidating. We've put in a placeholder as we do in all of these workbooks. And as you can see, we've just made up a wine club red reserve. So when you're ready to get started, enter the name of a product and make sure if it's a reserve or a special designation or single vineyard, go ahead and put that in there. But you get to type in your wine here. Then your cost of goods, and hopefully you've already seen the cost of goods calculator, but if you know the cost of goods of the specific wines already, it makes it a little bit easier. And then what's your winery selling price goes into this field, and this would be the ex-sellers or FOB costs that you sell the wine from the winery into three-tier system. Or in the case of doing direct-to-consumer in tasting room, wine club, and online, we do recommend as a best practice, even if you're just wheeling the room out of production over into the tasting room, maybe there's not even any difference in the area, you should establish a production selling price, and then this would be your transfer price to your tasting room or wine club. Put in the case production, and then we're going to do a lot of the work for you after you put in your sales allocation. So what percentage of the wine do you anticipate selling through the tasting room, through your wine club, in-state account direct sales, U.S. distribution through the three-tier system, and potentially any export sales? All of the names from the previous page will be transferred over here automatically, and then along with the cases produced and the margin per case. Remember that each row should equal 100% to make sure that you've got, and it could be you're selling 100% of the wine in a tasting room or in combination of the wine club. Other wines you might be selling through distribution and so forth. So you get to do the allocation of the sales for each of the sales channel. We're then going to provide you with a sales channel report. So this is just going to be a quick overview of how many cases, what's the transfer revenue in the case of direct to consumer, and then what's the margin for that that specific wine, and all that will aggregate up to a dozen different wine products. Next page is optional. You don't necessarily need this, but as you're looking at we're giving you a net profit or loss, and also a total gross margin that becomes kind of your guidelines for budgeting, so that you can put in key marketing positions. And here's a smattering of typical positions, but you can also put in other positions. And then also for your sales team, from anywhere from a very simple, a couple of salespeople to a full national team. And then in both cases, you can also put any costs of outsourcing for consultants or services, where you're doing that instead of actually hiring somebody, paying benefits and all that so on. So that adds up for you. We've included some general benchmark guidelines for the positions, and as we get more salary data from Oregon, we'll be able to provide better information over time in this area as well, so that you can see how you're doing or what your salaries are in relationship to benchmark pricing around the state of Oregon. Next is establishing your promotional budgets, marketing. So we've got general promotional budget, discounts, bill backs, printing, collateral, etc. And then any additional amounts, large or small, that you want to include. And then similar but less categories for the sales budget and so forth. At the end of it, voila, there's your income statement. And it breaks down your revenue by channel, tasting room, wine club, etc., your margin, and then the percent margin by channel, the number of cases allocated, and the percentage of cases by sales channel. And then at the bottom, we'll add in your marketing and payroll and expenses, sales payroll and expenses, and that'll generate for you a net profit and loss. So again, don't forget to bookmark this and save this, or save the URL if you're going to be using on different computers. You'll need this because the information is stored on our servers and not on your computer. And it's very simple and easy to set up, and I think you'll find it a very, very valuable tool. Another note, if for some reason you're trying to change these numbers and it's not working for you, make sure that you've hit the save button and it says edit. And that way you can input your information and work on it and then save it at the end. It should auto save when you close the program, and make sure you've got the URL. So thanks, enjoy this, and the next workbook that we'll be covering is going to be the pricing calculator that'll help you once you've established your FOB cost. It'll let you run scenarios of pricing in your tasting room, in your wine club, and through the 3-tier system and export.